welcome back to the Sporting Mentality Podcast. My name is Tanner Schering, aka Relay TS, and today we got an NFL podcast once again with our playoff predictions and a few other things. I will say that when the NBA trade deadline gets closer and closer, I will be coming out with a lot of NBA episodes. I plan on covering the entire NBA trade deadline and almost every single trade on my Sporting Mentality YouTube channel. Also, this podcast is now on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, a bunch of this, wherever you listen to podcasts, this podcast should be up. I'm trying to get it on Apple Music, and obviously it's on YouTube as well. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get right into it. The first news that we have, though, before we get into the playoff predictions, is Lamar Jackson and his situation. I feel like at this point, if Lamar Jackson goes to any other team, they're literally going to have to scrap their entire offensive game plan and build around him. So it's kind of risky for any team to go after him unless you're like the Bears. And I seen Colin Cowherd and what's his face? I don't remember his name anymore. But Colin Cowherd and one of his co-hosts talk about a straight up trade with Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson, because that means Lamar Jackson could go to the Bears and they could still have the same offense, and Justin Fields could go to the Ravens and they could pay Justin Fields because the Bears don't want to pay Justin Fields. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It kind of seems counterproductive, kind of seems going sideways almost for both teams. It's like, why would you do that? Maybe, the Ravens want – I mean, Lamar Jackson's still young, though. He's like 25. So I don't know. That doesn't really make much sense to me. But, for example, if my Colts trade for Lamar Jackson, we're going to have to rebuild our entire offensive scheme around him. We've never had a running quarterback like that. I mean, Andrew Luck could run, but he wasn't like a run-centric quarterback, right? So it's very interesting to see, this whole Lamar Jackson situation unfold. And it makes me think that the best scenario for him is honestly just to return to the Ravens. They just fired their OC today. I forget his name, Greg something. They fired their OC, so that kind of makes me think that they're going to move on from Lamar Jackson too, because the OC had a lot of success there. They averaged 200 yards and 200 rushing every single game, one of the only coaches to ever do that. So it makes me think that he might have had a big part of their offensive plan, and maybe Lamar's going to be getting moved on. I don't know though. I don't know. It's a very interesting situation. I wonder how Lamar Jackson and his offensive coordinator's relationship was. Was it good? Was it bad? I feel like that might have a lot to do with where Lamar Jackson's going to go. But who knows? I hope that he gets traded. I don't think that he will have a lot of success in Baltimore unless they just completely redo their entire wide receiver room. And they've seemed to fail to do that in the past few years. So anyways, Lamar Jackson, very interesting situation. I'm excited to see that unfold because it seems like he's going to be one of the big talking points in the offseason, along with Derek Carr and I guess Jimmy G. Free agency is very, very boring in my opinion this offseason, but hopefully Lamar and people like him can spice it up a little bit. Colts interviewing the Bengals head coach. Or offensive coordinator, not the head coach. So the Colts are requested to interview the Bengals offensive coordinator, Brian Callahan. This is interesting to me because they've already requested an interview half the league, which is crazy. And they just finished their interview with Jeff Saturday. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if you're a Colts fan listening to this, but if we end up with Jeff Saturday, I'm not going to be a Colts fan next year. In fact, I think I've already made up my mind. Seriously, if we have Jeff Saturday as our head coach moving forward, I am most probably going to cheer for whatever team Aaron Rodgers is on because I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. So that's on. I'm dead serious. You might call me a fake fan, but I am tired. I am tired of not having a coach. I know we only had Jeff Saturday for 8 weeks or whatever, but it was a horrid 8 weeks. I'm not going through another 17 weeks with him. But yeah, so that's interesting. But with all that being said, there's a few other, there's a few other talking points I guess we could go over, like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I could have a whole entire podcast about Aaron Rodgers and where he's going to end up, what he's going to do, what decision he's going to make moving forward. I hope he doesn't retire. I hope he gets out of Green Bay because Green Bay just seems to not be able to put pieces around him. And I mean, Allen Lazard is cool, Christian Watson is cool, but are any of those guys the number one wide receiver in any other team in the NFL? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. On the top of my just on the top of my head, I don't think they would be on any other team besides, I guess, the Ravens. But that's not saying anything at all. So yeah, there's a few other talking points, but we're gonna get into the exciting stuff. Our 2023 NFL Week 2 playoff predictions. I did my playoff prediction. I think actually I didn't do my Week 1 playoff predictions because I just started the podcast last episode, which was the recap for Week 1. But now we have Week 2 predictions. I'm excited for this. I'm gonna predict, the rest of the playoffs, obviously, not just this week. So let's get right into it. Which game should we start off with? I feel like we should start off with a bang. And supposedly, I guess all these games are amazing though, honestly. But I feel like the game of the week, in my opinion, is Burrow Allen, Josh Allen the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like this is going to be the game of the week. But then again, every other matchup is literally wow, this could be exciting. Legit. So Bengals versus the Bills. I feel like I'm leaning towards a team that most people are probably not leaning towards. I'm leaning towards the Bengals. Now I know a lot of people have them in the Super Bowl, but a lot of people have the Bills going to the Super Bowl as well. And a lot of people want the Bills to go to the Super Bowl because, it'd be a cool Cinderella story with all they've gone through. And I get it. I know, I get it. But I simply I don't think that they're capable of doing that, honestly. I don't think they're capable of doing that with their defense and how they performed against Skylar Thompson, who was a third-string quarterback. I don't think they can stop Joe Burrow and their offensive pieces. I don't think that's possible. And with Josh Allen getting more and more reckless as the weeks go on, I don't think the Bills stand a chance against the Bengals. They stand a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen. I have the Bengals advancing in this game. I feel like Joe Burrow is a little bit more, conservative with the ball, I would say, or smart with the ball. Josh Allen's more of a big play type guy, but every once in a while he'll fumble the ball, he'll throw an interception just like he did against the Dolphins. I can't, even if the Bills do win this game, I don't want them to because I don't think they could beat the Chiefs. I don't think they could. So yeah, Bengals advancing against the Bills. That's my pick. Moving on to the Jaguars and Chiefs. This is an exciting game, and I feel like a lot of people are immediately taking the Chiefs, right? No, the Jaguars stand no chance with how Trevor Lawrence played the first half. This is a no-brainer, no doubt. Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. They've been for the last 3 years or whatever. The Chiefs are taking this one, but I am taking the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong. I'd be stupid not to because the Chiefs are just a better team, and they have Patrick Mahomes. But I do think the Jaguars could pull this off. I really do. I really do think they could. It's only one game. This isn't a best of 4 series or best of 7 like the NBA. This is one game. Anything can happen. If the Jaguars come out with a game plan that the Chiefs haven't seen before, they do something, if Trevor Lawrence has the game of his life, I think it'd be very cool to see the Jaguars in the damn Super Bowl. I'm just saying. I'm cheering for the underdogs this entire playoffs because my Colts are not in it. So if the Jaguars could pull this off, I would be stoked. And they're in our division. It'd be cool to see, the AFC South get into the Super Bowl. Anyways, then we have so I'm taking the Chiefs, though. I'm taking the Chiefs. Then we have the Chiefs-Bengals. We're going to go over to the other side and get, both sides even real quick. We got Giants versus the Eagles. I feel like this actually might be my most exciting game because I am rooting for the Giants. Out of all these teams, even above the Jaguars, I'm rooting for the Giants to win the Super Bowl. That's who I want to win. That is my favorite underdog in this playoffs with Daniel Jones. He's a stud. I've already talked about it. I feel like he's the future of that franchise. And if they decide to move on for some stupid reason, I hope the Colts jump on that right away because I feel like he has a lot of potential. But Giants, Eagles, I feel like it depends how this game is going to be decided on how healthy Jalen Hurts is. Because I feel like without a healthy 100% Jalen Hurts, this Eagles team is not the same, as they were at the peak of the regular season. They've also been on. I feel like they've also been on a decline the past few weeks in the regular season, like they weren't the same Eagles they were in like week 4, right? As they were in like week 16, 17, 18. So and the Giants have all the momentum in the world. Beating the Vikings, they're all excited. They're a young team, they're underdogs, so I feel like this could definitely be an upset. I feel like the Giants could pull this off, especially if Jalen Hurts is not at 100%. I mean, having Dexter Lawrence coming at you full speed every single play is not an exciting feeling. And I know their offensive line's been banged up, the Eagles has. And I don't know if, I'm pretty sure Lane Johnson is still out. Pretty sure. So if that's the case, that's going to be scary. I really want to take the Giants here, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I probably should take the Eagles, and I will. I think I am going to take the Eagles, but I will say this: if Jalen Hurts is clearly not playing 100%, just know that I knew they were going to win. If he wasn't 100%, I think the Giants can pull this off if Jalen Hurts is at like an 80, 85% out of his 100. But the Eagles will probably pull it off. But it'll be an interesting and exciting matchup. I'm so excited to watch that game. I'm so excited to watch that. Next up, we have Cowboys versus the 49ers. We have Brock Purdy, the just Mr. Irrelevant, the guy who's taken the NFL by storm, last pick of the draft, versus Dak Prescott, the oldest quarterback in the league, by the way, who's only 29. And a lot of analysts and stuff on ESPN are saying like, oh, the aging Dak Prescott is facing Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and all these guys. I'm like, he's only 29. I mean, this guy's at the peak of his prime, arguably not even at the peak. So, but he's had a lot of injuries, so I guess saying aging is fair. And he's been in the league for like 6, 7, 8 years. But Brock Purdy versus Dak Prescott. I hate the Cowboys. I think that I've made that known by now, but I hate the Cowboys if you did not know. Why, you may ask? I feel like I know a lot of Cowboys fans, and I feel like the Cowboys, like their whole entire fan base, like overrates their entire team drastically. Not their entire team, actually. I hate how they overrate Dak Prescott, and I know he played like a great game, a damn near perfect game against the Buccaneers, but that Buccaneers team was the worst team in the playoffs, and I don't think we're going to see that same Dak versus the best defense in the league. I don't think we're going to see that. I mean, literally, like, yeah, he threw for 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, whatever it was. He had like 114 passer rating. But now he's facing, Bosa on the end, Warner. I mean, all these guys on the 49ers defense. Is Dak Prescott going to be the same conservative guy who's throwing perfect passes, not cracking under pressure? I don't think so, because he's going to have a lot more of that pressure, and I feel like we're going to see the Dak Prescott that I was talking crap about earlier in this game. I think we're going to see him crack under pressure in this game, and I think we're going to see him throw a few picks, and that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. I feel like Dak Prescott's performance is a deciding factor in this game, and I don't feel like he's going to perform up to what he could do at his peak. And if you guys didn't know, like, I made a video about Dak Prescott on TikTok saying that, like, they're not going to win. They'll never be able to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. He's a complimentary quarterback, and sometimes he can't even play that role right. So I'm a big Dak Prescott hater. I don't know why. He's a good guy. He's a good quarterback, but I feel like the fan base overrates him a lot, saying that he's like top 5, top 10 in the league. I have a hard time putting him in my top 10. Sometimes I even have him out of my top 15. In the regular season, he was outside of my top 15 because he was just that bad. But then again, Brock Purdy, like, he had good numbers on Saturday, but a lot of people were saying he was mid. The numbers weren't reflective of his performance or whatever. He didn't really look that good. So it's going to be interesting to see how Brock Purdy matches up with this Cowboys defense as well. I don't know. I have the 49ers advancing. I don't think the Cowboys stand a chance. I really don't. So right now we have the Chiefs versus the Bengals. We have the Eagles, and then we have the Eagles versus the 49ers. Hopefully that's the Giants versus the 49ers, but we're going to go with what we have right now. So Chiefs Bengals. I have the Chiefs. I think the Bengals, with how they played against the Ravens, unless they pick it up very, very fast in like versus the Bills, I think they don't stand a chance against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going directly to the Super Bowl. But I don't know. That matchup is kind of interesting. Maybe Burrow just starts clutching up. Uh, I don't know. That's such a hard game for me, dude. That's such a hard game for me to like decide. I can't see the Chiefs losing to the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? I can see them getting upset by the Jaguars, but I can't see them losing to the Bengals. Imagine how like that sounds crazy, but that's just how my mind works, I guess. I don't know. I have to see how the Bengals perform this week against the Bills, but if they played anything like they did against the Ravens, then I don't think they stand a chance against the Chiefs. I do think they stand a chance against the Bills, though. So I'm going to take the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. But like I said, we'll see how the Bengals perform this weekend and go from there. Then we have the 49ers versus the Eagles. I'm taking the 49ers. I don't really have much else to say. I don't think the Eagles match up well with 49ers either. I don't know, dude. Like I said, the Eagles have been on a decline. The 49ers have been on an incline. And I feel like they're just going to steamroll through the playoffs. And I know 49ers versus the Chiefs are just such a generic pick. But, like I said, it could end up being the Bengals versus the 49ers. Hell, it could be the Bengals versus the Giants. I don't know. It could be the Bills versus the Giants. It could be the Jaguars. Dude, imagine the Jaguars versus the Giants, by the way. That would be something. That would be something to see, ladies. I would love to see that, honestly. Jaguars, Giants. Hell, maybe that'll be my pick. But no. So, Chiefs versus the 49ers. This would be the first time a rookie quarterback has ever made it to the Super Bowl, right? I'm pretty sure. Or would it be winning a Super Bowl? I'm pretty sure this would be the first time a rookie quarterback has ever carried a team to the Super Bowl. Not for sure with Brock Purdy. So that would be interesting. But in this matchup, I think I would take the Chiefs. But I would put money on the 49ers, if that makes any sense. But if I had to like pick one, I'd take the Chiefs. But if I would put money on the 49ers because the odds would be better. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they could potentially pull it off with their defense. But I don't know. Seeing a rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl versus an experienced person like Patrick Mahomes, who's arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever touch a football, just doesn't seem like, I would be very smart to pick the 49ers. I would take the Chiefs here, I feel like, to win the Super Bowl, win the 2023 Super Bowl. But like I said, guys, this playoffs, I mean, this is a close playoffs in my opinion. This playoffs can go any way. In my opinion, this is a very exciting playoff week. One of the most exciting ones we've had in a while. I mean, I'm super stoked to watch every single one of these matchups. Even the Jaguars versus the Chiefs. I know people are gonna say it's a blowout. Maybe it is. Maybe the Chiefs win 38-0. But the Jaguars have been putting up points recently. I know they had that first half against the Chargers. Now they have those butterflies out of their stomach. Now they're the real underdog versus the Chiefs. They have nothing to lose. That would be an exciting upset. The Giants would be an exciting upset against the Eagles. The Cowboys winning would be very devastating. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I feel like any team that's playing this week could be in the Super Bowl. Literally. Because I think all of them are capable. But who knows? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's the Bills. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your predictions are. But Chiefs, 49ers, Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs winning. But I would be cheering for the 49ers in that situation. That's my picks. I feel like I'm pretty confident with those picks. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not confident at all. I feel like I should have picked a little bit more upsets. But I don't want to assume the Giants are going to beat the Eagles. Unless word came out that Jalen Hurts is still 90%, but he's going to play. Then I would take the Giants. But you know what I'm saying? So if you guys enjoy these predictions, enjoy this podcast, be sure to leave a 5-star review if you're on Spotify or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, drop a like, subscribe, turn up notifications. And like I said, NBA trade deadline is on our way. It's almost here. So whenever trades start rolling in, I will be covering that. Honestly, my next pod, it will either be an NBA podcast or it will be week 2 playoff recap. One of the two. But I probably will have a NBA podcast coming out next week about the trade rumors and my thoughts on the season so far and stuff like that. Because I know more about, like, I know you guys, I don't know if you guys know me that much, but I know more about the NBA than I do the NFL. But I'm a huge NFL fan. I enjoy watching football more. I'm trying to become an uncasual in the NFL, but I would say that I'm not a casual in the NBA. I know a lot of people, mainly because I watch KOT4Q on YouTube, and I know pretty much every player because I watch him. But yeah, so NBA podcasts coming very soon. But we will be keeping up with these playoffs and any NFL news that we get as well, with the coaching positions and Derek Carr news coming up in February. So that'll be exciting. But appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to have a great rest of your day. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.